Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Thursday Night Live with Susie Q. I am so happy to be here. Hi, Karen. How are ya? I am solo tonight for a little bit, so I'm trying to get things organized here that I can. Hi, Charlene. That I can see the computer and get over to my spot because Dorothy is on the phone with her Marine, which is where Audrey is at right now, out in California. So that was exciting. We took her to the airport on Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. So yeah, it's been a week, let me tell you. Okay, I am gotta go up here and figure out how I see. Dorothy always does this stuff for me, and now I don't know how to do it. So we will get this started here. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, well, the phone's just going to have to wait. All right, ladies, I am so excited. Tonight, I've got some brand new product I'm going to show you. We're going to even make 2 cards with that brand new product. Convention was just amazing. We had a wonderful time. Here in front of me is the new catalog. I'm sorry, but I can't show you the inside. I can show you the front and I can show you the back, but that's all I can show you. I can show you the product that I have in hand, which is some really cool stuff. So let's go over a few things. First of all, where did they go? There they are. I want to congratulate, hi Beverly, how are you? I want to congratulate Karen. She was the winner for last week's cards. She watched the recorded replay since Dorothy and I were not here to do a live. I hope the lighting is okay. I know there's shadow and my ring light went out. So I have to check on getting another ring light. So I'm working on getting a different light kind of angled to maybe I won't have quite so much shadow. I don't know, that didn't work out. So we are still working at this because normally, like I said, I have help.
Okay.
And we set things up beforehand.
Sorry, I had to talk to my boy.
I know.
It was an emergency.
It was. What was it an emergency for?
It was an emergency.
What for?
Just making sure that everything from earlier was okay.
Oh. Oh, yes.
And it's all good. And
I have a feeling that Audrey's going to come home completely spoiled. I don't know. Okay.
Besides, it's just now 7:04.
Yeah. See, 7:04. I was on time. You were not.
I'm sorry.
So these are the cards that you'll get, Karen, and I will bring these to you to class tomorrow night. So congratulations on that.
Congratulations, Karen.
I've already changed her name on the winner. If you want to pop that up on the screen. I just have to get my breath, ladies. I mean, I was a nervous wreck. I'm thinking, when is she coming back over here to get me started? And she didn't, and I had to start by myself. And
oh
my goodness.
What would you do to help me?
I don't know. So one thing that I learned at on stage, that's what it's called, is, and I talked with some of the top sellers. Hi, Cherie. Glad that you could join us tonight. I know it's hot. I've just worked myself up into a dizzy tonight, trying to get all my stuff done by myself. Oh. Okay. So
show them the outside of the calendar.
I did already.
Well,
you want me to have it there so they can drool over it? Okay. So let me explain to you. You tell me what you think of when you see this catalog. When you see this front part of the catalog, the catalog cover, what do you think? What is the first thing that pops into your head? So this is the time that I want answers back, ladies. I want you to tell me what what you think of the catalog cover. Okay. So while you're typing in your answers, I talked with one of the top demonstrators, and she suggested that I stop doing my lives with StreamYard because, of course, it's going to go away. I won't be able to on Facebook with a third party program. So she has suggested that I just go to YouTube. So that is going to be a change that I make probably the 28th of March will be my last time that I will go on Facebook and YouTube. Hi, Mary. I'm so glad that you got to join us tonight. I'm excited. From then on, then starting in April, I will just be on YouTube. And you can find my YouTube channel, and I'll have this posted out on my Facebook page. My YouTube channel is Suzie Q Stamping. So it's not hard to find. So I know it's going to get a little bit, it'll take some getting used to, but because Facebook is going to play this game of not letting us do third party, excuse me, on their site, we're going to just go ahead and start changing over and doing YouTube. Okay. All right. So Cherie says family reunion. Charlene, outdoor tea party. Karen, family or friends having a good time. Picnic, family time together. You are all correct. This picture on the cover of our catalog this year is depicting a gathering of friends where we can just sit and talk. We can sit and drool over our catalogs. We can do kits. Now, would I do a kit outside? Probably not. Especially if I have lights out, that means that it's not going to be very bright out. I have stamped outside. I have made cards when I've been camping. I've even done cards outside in the backyard. Do I have anybody on YouTube right now? Nope. Okay. I'm hoping that a couple of the gals that I met at On Stage will pop in tonight and watch me and then critique me.
But maybe they're not crafting. Maybe they're
right. So they're not crafting, they're just gathering. And so the whole point of what I took away from On Stage is we have to gather because gathering gives us that companionship. Hi, Sue. Hi, Sue. Yes, Anna, I read your post and it said, hi, Sue. Hi, Anna. Oh, my goodness. So, Anna, what do you think of the cover of the catalog? Pat just commented, but I don't see it. So I wonder if she's on an old one.
I don't, she hasn't commented in here.
No, I seen it pop up on my phone. Okay. So I took away that gathering together is a great thing that we have to do. Charlene, I quit drinking coffee by 10 o'clock this morning. It's just been nonstop all day today. And then Mom and I got into a conversation right before dinner time. And it's like, okay, now I got all this buzzing through my head. It's okay, but you like the last one. Okay. So like I was explaining, Anna, at On Stage, they emphasized the gathering together with friends and family. And so that's what the cover is depicting here. Not necessarily that they are crafting. They might be just looking at new product outside. But they're having a good time. They're smiling. They're talking to each other. And that's what's important when we get together to stamp and make cards.
They were trying to get you to go back to pre-COVID and have that
Right. That
friendship
personal,
with
that
people.
personal touch and relationship with our customers. When COVID hit, the demonstrators all had to go and scramble and figure out how they were going to make their business work. I came in 21, and so COVID was still kind of there. So it was kind of hard, but I already had an established class that we did come and do, and we wore masks and all of that good stuff. So that's what the catalog depicts. So when you receive your catalog, I want you to remember that. I can tell you that this is a catalog like none others that I have ever seen. There is a lot of different things in here. They have it set up much different. I am probably going to have it like a, my mind has gone blank.
A coffee tutorial.
A coffee clutch type thing tutorial where once you get your catalogs, we will walk through them so that I can explain it to you and you're not so confused. Dorothy and I have looked through ours and looked through ours. You can see my binding is kind of already getting tattered and worn. I need to go and get it bound. But anyway, there's things that have really changed in this catalog, and I think that change is good. And Stampin' Up! Is going to have several changes within the next year. I haven't really discussed it a lot on my videos, but it will be posted out when I have the where for all that I know how I'm going to be doing my business with the changes that are coming. And they're not bad changes, really. When you stop and think about it, the changes that they are handing down are not bad. Okay. So let's get on with stamping. This is the first card that we're going to make. And this is the brand new designer series paper that is in the in colors. So this is the Pretty in Pink and the Shy Shamrock. Okay, so it's on a basic white cardstock that's just your regular card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So we have that here. Okay, and then I have a piece of the Shy Shamrock, and this piece measures, I should have wrote it down and I just didn't think about it. This is 3 3/4 and by 3 3/4. So it's 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. And that's going to get laid in the center. So you've looked through the new one online, Charlene, because you're a demonstrator. Yes, you will need to see it in person to get the full effect of the layout. And if you want, Charlene, you and I can maybe talk on Saturday. Tomorrow I've got my all-day classes. And I have not had the time this week to call you and discuss the changes with you. But maybe we could get together over the telephone on Saturday. If that works for you, you can let me know. All right, that is going to go on the inside of our card.
I think she's on an old video.
She is. Just call her. You can call her right here. Just call her. Tell her that she needs to refresh her Facebook page and she needs to go to the top. All right, so I had cut a piece of the designer series paper down to, it was about, let's see, 4.5 by 3.5, so 4.5 by 3.5. And I then cut that piece into 3 strips that were equal strips. Now I took them apart, and now it's a puzzle for me to put it back together. There we go. So that goes like that, and then this one will go like this. Okay. All right. So that's what it looked like before I cut it into my 3 equal strips. Now I'm going to decide which way do I want my leaves to go, up or down. And I know that I'm going to put a little greeting on it. So I'm going to just leave it as it is right here, because this one will probably not show very much. And that's the one that's like the middle one. Okay. And give me just a second, because I just had somebody try to come in on my phone and I hadn't silenced it. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to lay down all 3 of these pieces, and I'm going to start with the left-hand side. And I'm just using my Tombow glue. You could use your tape adhesive if you wanted to. Now, because I never do anything straight without my glasses on, I'm going to put my glasses on, and I'm going to turn my paper this way so that hopefully I can get it straight. If you look at mine that I made for my prototype, it's not as straight as I would like it, but I couldn't get it picked up because the glue had already set. Okay. Okay. So there is our first piece. Then I'm going to lay down the far right piece. And if you lay down both end pieces first, then you're able to center your middle piece better instead of trying to, I just got to watch and make sure that I put, so that's going to be, that one's the center one. And then this one is that one. I wanted to make sure that my pattern hadn't gotten messed up, so that my pattern follows me all across my paper. This is what they consider a, yes, let me think what they called this. They have a name for a very simple card. I don't remember what the name is. The name isn't as simple as the cards are, I don't think. It's not abstract. Anyway, I'll think of it, or when my assistant gets back, she will help me out there. So now I'm just laying down my center one, and I'm centering that between those 2 outside ones, making sure that it looks pretty straight and even, and it does. Yay. When I can do something straight, I like it. Might be off just a 1/16 of an inch, but we're not going to worry about that. We're now going to go ahead and stamp the inside of our card. And something happened. Of course, I was able to pre-order these products last Thursday after the first day of On Stage. And I put in a big order, and I ordered my stamp pads so that I would have them to show you all. Well, I got everything but the stamp pads. But I did get the Stampin' Write markers. And these are very good, that you can use these on your stamps, so that doesn't hurt the stamps. So I thought, well, we're going to go to plan B, and we are going to use our Stampin' Write markers as our ink pad. So all you need to do is take, and I use the brush end, and brush it across the top of those stamps.
Not with a blend, though.
Don't do this with your blend. Do not, I cannot stress that enough. Do not try to ink your stamps with your blends, because you will ruin your stamp. Okay, and now I'm going to huff on this. And what the huffing does is it moisturizes the ink. Okay, so now we're just going to stamp this on the inside of our card. Trying to get it as centered as I can. There we go. Now, it's not as dark as what a stamp pad would do, but it's okay for me. All right. It's kind of gives that little bit of a watercolor wash look, and it's fine with me. I did try going over it with the marker again, but then it got too thick and I didn't like that. So we're going to leave it just as it is. And now I've got a strip of paper, and it is longer than my card, but I did it that way so that I can cut off the excess and not have to worry about whether or not I've got it lined up right. So I'm just gluing my strip. I tell you, ladies, it was absolutely on stage was so exciting. Dorothy did a fabulous job. So did Daisy. I tried to make some money off of Daisy, but Dorothy wouldn't allow it. I made $6, but I wanted to at least start paying for my parking, which was expensive as all get out. It was $55 a day for the valet parking, and it was in the parking garage at the hotel. I didn't really have a choice because I didn't know where the other parking lots were, and I didn't know how secure they were. And what I did not want was damage done to my car, because there were several homeless people walking around. They got quite aggravated if they didn't get what they wanted from us, but I just kept walking and ignored them. So now all I'm doing is just trimming off that little bit of excess. And I just find that this sometimes is easier to do than cutting it straight across with the trimmer. All right, now we're just going to center this onto our card base, like so. So does anybody have any questions? How many of you were able to watch the replay of my unboxing the other day? That was just like an impromptu thing. I sat on the floor and I opened all the boxes up that we'd gotten.
My favorite YouTube stamper. She's showcasing her cards, and yours is on top.
Oh, swapping was very fun. So good. I'm glad, Cherie. What did you think of the new product? Oh, yes, it is. Dorothy met Heidi. That's one of her favorite YouTubers. Oh, how did I get up? Very, very carefully, Anna. Very, very carefully. Karen, you can go back and watch it. It's on Facebook because I did it live. So you can go back and watch it. Okay. You'll laugh because I'm sitting on the floor. All right. So there is the front of our card. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper. Did you get Mom on? Okay. Yes. Well, if you are a member of my card club,
and you bring chocolate,
Dorothy and her chocolate. If you are a member of my card club and we have class tomorrow, you will see the product that I unboxed, because I am going to bring it so that everybody can ooh and ah over it. I know, I used to sit on the floor all the time, and now it's rare that I sit on it. Yes, Charlene. She is so down to earth. In fact, she was at the same hotel we were, 2 doors down from our room. So it was really exciting. All right, so we are going to take a piece of scrap basic. Oops, I guess I had another piece, but we'll take the smaller piece of scrap basic white. We are going to do the same thing with our marker. Like I said, I like doing this with my ink pad. However, everybody that ordered the ink pads on the pre-order did not receive them. They are being shipped out separately because for some reason the system didn't pick them up, so they didn't get put in the boxes to ship. Yes, so I seen Connie Stewart. I saw Lisa Curcio.
We really got to talk to Lisa.
And I had a good conversation with Lisa. I
learned
a lot of new things from her. Her husband, Bob, the builder, was there. Let's see, I met Sharon Armstrong from Texas, and I met
Stamping on the Back Porch.
Karen and Tim Titus from Stamping on the Back Porch. Excuse me, ladies, but today I started getting the sneezes, and now I have like runny sinuses.
Plug in my device.
What device? It is plugged in.
I don't think so. It says it's not.
Okay, well, let me see what's going on with the computer plug-in. It's plugged in, Dorothy. The only thing that's not is the phone.
This is what happens when I'm not over here to get things done.
Yes, it is. Everything's plugged in tight. Well, maybe that wasn't so tight.
That was it.
Okay.
Now we're charged again.
I got this new computer, ladies. And oh my goodness, is it heavy? And it's got a power cord that's an inch thick. And you'll never guess who else we got to meet. We got to meet Shelly Gardner, who is the co-founder of Stampin' Up. So that was exciting. We got our picture taken with her. So now that I've done all this talking, I need to re-ink this and then do huff. Huff and puff.
You know, when I was a little girl and I would first stamping with Grandma, and she would let me use her markers like this. And she taught me how to do that with the ink or with the markers on her stamps. And I thought that was the coolest thing. I could make one line one color, one line another color.
All right, this is going to go up and down, so we will stamp it like this. All right. So there we have our stamped image. So the markers do in a pinch. They're really good if you're going to do like flowers and you want the stems a different color than your flowers. You don't want it all green or you don't want it all pink. So that makes it good too. The other thing that we can do is, well, that's already done. Where's my other stamp at that I had? Well, I know I had it, and I know I took it out of my supply box.
It's kind of like a paintbrush end on one end and a
Hi, Sterling
on the other.
I'll show you here. So here is the little nubby point. I don't know if you can see that real well, but it's a nub point. Bring it down to me.
There you go.
Okay, so it writes fine. Well, not real fine, but finer than the brush tip. Okay, then on the other end is the brush point. So it looks kind of like the water painters or a paintbrush. Then you should have been here to help me set up my camera. Okay, so here's how this one writes in a thicker line. So if you can see the difference, that's the little narrow tip, and then that's the brush tip. All right, I have to find my stamp. And I know that I had it in my box of supplies, and it's not here now. Well, we may have to go on, but it was a little, it's a little dot set like this. And I don't know what happened to it, but it's not. I even cleaned off my desk, ladies, and so I have no idea why it's not here, because I got all of my stuff out for the first card and then all of my stuff for the second card. And that's from a brand new stamp set. Let's see. Put it back away. Don't think so, but possibly.
Which one are we looking for?
Well, I'm looking for the little dots.
That one, it was.
No, it's little dots, and it came with the new stamp set.
Okay, I think it's in.
But we're going to go on and we're going to punch this out with the modern oval punch. Which, by the way, ladies, this is staying in the catalog. So we're going to just line that up just like that. Oh, here it is, Dorothy. It's from Throughout the Wishes. But guess what? So as not to lose this little stamp, Sue was smart enough to put it back in the stamp case. Imagine that. Okay. So we're going to punch this out. And then we're going to take our Pretty in Pink marker. And we are going to color, oops, as I throw it all around. We're going to take the brush end again, and we're just going to brush over those dots. We're going to give it a huff, and we're going to stamp. So you're going to do that several times. If you had the ink pad, of course, you could do it much faster, but this doesn't take too long, and it's not real dark, so I'm not worried about going over my words, because I just wanted to break up some of that white. We'll just kind of move it around a little bit. Okay, what were these cards called, Dorothy? I can't remember the word they used.
Oh,
Dorothy was the note taker, not me. I just watched. They had some awesome demonstrators. There was one that was from Canada, and she was a hoot. I mean, she had gotten her hair stuck in her microphone, and she couldn't get it untangled. It was just, she was funny. She was just a great demonstrator. Yes, I think a lot of times we do forget about the great things that our Stampin' Write markers can do, besides just writing. All right, so now that I have that made, I'm going to use dimensionals, and I have some skeletons here that I'm going to use. Pop this up off of the card front. And like I said, Dorothy is checking to see. I can't remember what they called simplistic cards. There's a word that they're using. That one's all cleaned off now, empty. And sometimes simple is good. And we have to remember that not all of our customers or all of our friends are advanced stampers. They may never have stamped before. Okay, so now we're just going to put this right here on our front of our card. I was going to put some embellishments on these, and I can't remember what I did with the new embellishments. So we're going to use some old embellishments that will coordinate.
Okay, so there's choreographed, which is
okay.
step by step crafting, kind of like the kits.
Okay.
Okay. Casual is quick and easy options. So this to me would be considered a casual.
Right. This is kind of like a casual card because it's quick and easy. And I'm going to use some basic rhinestones, ladies, to put on the front of the card here just to give it some bling.
And Avid is creativity your way.
Okay.
So that would be kind of like a more like your
advanced
trick cards.
Yes, advanced cards. Okay. So there we have our creative card. Casual card. Okay. So it's a very simple and it's very fast to put together if you didn't sit and talk like I did. Okay. So there is the casual card. Now let's go on and we're going to make, I would say, more of an avid card, but a beginner could also make this following the easy steps. But before I go on, let me show you the other papers that come in this beautiful 6x6 in color pack. So we have the oh yes, this is called, no, not the yellow one.
Oh, the yellow one is peach pie.
Yes, peach pie. So now I have peach pie, pumpkin pie, and pecan pie. All pies. They're making me hungry. All right, so here is one. It's just little circles on one side. And then on the other side, it has another design on it. Okay. And then we have the ones that I use tonight. One side is stripe, and the other side is the leaves and the little flowers. So that's what the 4 different patterns are for this year. So here we have it in the summer summer splash. Dorothy's memory is better than mine. So that's the summer splash, which I really do like. It reminds me of Coastal Cabana, but I've been seeing where they've taken the different color swatches and there is a little bit different shade to it. This is the Posy Pop. Petunia. I'm sorry, Petunia Pop, which is like a purpley color. Okay. And then, of course, we have the stripe. And then the flower on the other side. This is the Shy Shamrock. So it's like a green, but it's a very light green. It's not like a clover or anything like that. Okay. And then, of course, the stripes and the leaves. And because these coordinate, you can use these papers together and not worry about mixing and matching the colors. Karen, you like the casual cards? Casual cards are really good. Sometimes I have a hard time with casual cards because I think my customers want more or they expect more trick cards from me. So I have to get in the mindset that not everybody is on the same crafting level as I think they are. And that's okay because everybody is different. Okay, so let's go on to our next card. So this would be more of a avid card. We have made one like this before, but I'm going to show you a new way that I learned from, yes, now her name has Connie Stewart. It just slipped my mind. One of the fractured cards. Now, what I didn't do was I didn't pop up my center, which I should have. And once I got done with the pool party, it wasn't talking to me. But I will tell you that this flower area here, I cut it out of basic white. It's one of the dies that comes in the Thoughtful Wishes set. And then I just took my my Stampin' Write markers and I took the brush end of it. And this is what I did. I just put some ink down on my block. I took a water painter and I just put a little tiny bit of water. Whoops. A little tiny bit of water that I could mix with that. And then I just started going over real lightly those leaves or the stems and the flowers. So it's really easy that you can do watercoloring with the markers, the Stampin' Write markers. Okay. You have a hard time with casual cards, Cherie? I know. And I guess because I've gotten in such a, I don't want to necessarily call it a rut, but I want to always outdo myself. And our swaps that we got were just gorgeous. And some of them were just very casual cards. They weren't anything trick, but they were very nice, and they were put together very neat. If we have time, we'll go over that. All right, so this card then I reworked, and I did it a little bit differently. And here is what we have. So I used some of the brand new paper that is called the Thoughtful Journey. And this is like that watercolor paper that we've had in the past with like a scene on one side and watercolor wash on the other side. So there's one side, and that's the other side. The same as that. Here's got the blue, and then it's got trees with the skyline up there. We have this one here that's got some wildflowers. And on the back side, it's got more watercolor. This one here kind of looks like it's a reflection. That's what I look at it as, a reflection in the water of these flowers or weeds. And then on the back side, you've got the blues and the purples. This one here, you've got some Calypso coral and some of the, I believe it's mossy meadow that's in this pack. And then this piece here. This piece here has some of those wildflowers, and then on the back, it's all the purples. This one here, that is the one side, and then this is the dark side. This is the, my mind, ladies, is just gone. Pretty peacock. Okay, and that's one side, and then this side here. So you can do so much with this without really doing a lot of stamping, and yet these cards look amazing. So these make very good casual cards, because you can focus, and it comes in different colors. So you can focus on the designer series paper and not on everything else. So that's pretty, where you could just make this as your card front. And I think then that's all of my designs. Did I go with this one yet? I don't think I showed you this one.
Mm-hmm.
Did I? Okay. All right. The only one that I didn't show you is the one that we're going to use tonight. And it looks like this. Okay. And this is a faster way to do the oh my gosh, ladies, fractured card. Just unbelievable. I'm forgetting everything. All right, so we are going to start out with a piece of cardstock that is the Blackberry Bliss. Is my card base, and that's just cut at 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm sorry, back up, Sue. It is cut at 4.25 by 11. So it actually opens up this way. Okay. So 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5. Then I have another piece of cardstock, And this piece measures, this one measures 4 by 5.5. And we're going to do something with that piece there. Sure. Why I have this piece. I think it was just an extra piece. Okay. Then I have a 2.5 by 2.5 inch square. I'm sorry, 2.25 by 2.25. And that is in the Blackberry Bliss. I have a piece of scrap that I used for my other cards that I made, and we're going to use this piece of scrap. Then I have got 3 strips of paper that measure 1/4 of an inch by 5.5, I believe, or 5, 5.25. And once my measurements just are all over tonight, girls. I mean, all right, let's face it. I'm exhausted, okay? I mean, I've been like on the run for the last 2 weeks. Well, more than that. This piece is 2.5 by 1/4. And those are going to be our fractured pieces that we're going to lay down. So we're going to lay those to the side. We have a piece of basic white that's going to be for our greeting, and that's going to layer on top of our Blackberry Bliss, which measures, the white measures 2 by 2. I have a piece of basic white that is 3 3/4 by 5 inches for our inside. I have a piece of the something posy poppy. It's a pea flower. Okay. It is the let's see. Petunia. It's a flower, isn't it? Petunia pop. Okay. All right, so it's petunia. But posy, pansy, they all start with
petunia.
Okay, but it's a petunia pop is the color. That's great. Okay, I just can't remember that. I want to call it petunia. Everything. Okay, so this piece is going to get the white piece on it for the inside because I just wanted to kind of follow through with my colors. Okay, and I have to say, I really like these in colors. They are more of the soft pastel, so I know some of us, Karen, will not really like these. However, I think if you use them with paper that we have that coordinates, you will learn to love them. Just like I started loving Parakeet Party and now it's going away. Okay, so we have that. We're going to set those aside and we are going to bring in my trimmer. And we are going to trim, not trim, but score. We are going to score. Well, we will trim the paper, but not right now. We are going to score our extra piece of the Blackberry Bliss. And you won't really be able to see these score lines, but they're for a guide, so they're very important. We are going to score that with the 5.5 inch or 5.25 inch side at the top. We're going to score it at, oh yes, let me look at my directions here. We're going to score that at 3/4 of an inch. Dorothy's just sitting over here laughing at me. Maybe I should make her do this. I mean, that is not what I want. 3/4 of an inch. Not 1 3/4, 3/4. I looked at that and I thought, no, wait a minute, that's way too much. All right. And you don't have to do a whole lot. Just run it over there so that you can see the line. Then we're going to do a 1/2 inch on both sides. You're not going to see these score lines because they're going to be covered up. But they are going to help you with your paper placement. So now we've got that done. We're not even going to fold these lines. We just scored it. We're going to set that aside. Now we're going to come in with a 6x6 piece of paper. So you do need one full 6x6 piece of paper. And we are going to cut this into 4 pieces. So the first cut that we're going to do is we are going to cut at 2 1/4. And I'm going to cut, let's see, that card there I did this way. So I cut this at 2 1/4 inches. That doesn't seem like that's the way I did it before. Let's see. Oh, well, first of all, I have to cut this down to, nope, not that. If she doesn't stop laughing at me, ladies, do I have permission to kick her out of my room? This is the direction I wanted it. 2 1/4 right here, because I'm going to use this part and then the 2 bottom parts that have the flowers on them. So I'm going to cut that, and now I'm going to rotate this, and I'm going to cut this piece at 2 inches. So that leaves me a piece then that is 2 1/4 by 4 inches. So I don't want to mix these up. So that's how we're going to lay those over there. And now that leaves me with a 6 by 3 3/4. 6 by 3 3/4. We're going to cut this in half at 3 inches. Okay. So that's going to be, and that's it. That's all we have to worry about. They look like the colors you have. Which colors are those, Cherie? Now, I know that the Pretty in Pink, that is an old color. It used to be one of the colors that we had in Stampin' Up! A long time ago. So that's what our paper started out at. Okay, remember that piece of Blackberry Bliss that was the 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 square? We are going to line it up, and I know you can't see it, but right here is my score line. And I'm going to put the tip of my square right up to that score line, and it hangs over those other 2 score lines. Just you want to make sure that you kind of got them even with the even hangover. We're going to glue that down. Okay. So we're just going to line this up, put that corner to the top, make sure that I have a little bit of hangover on both sides, which I do. And that's glued down. We're going to set these aside for a minute. We're going to come back in with those strips that we have. And we're going to start up here in the right-hand corner, and we are going to lay down 1 strip at a time. And you want to make sure that you've got some hangover. I know that, like I said, I remember that Card Class made one of these last year. I can't remember which paper we used, but you are going to need your silicone mat because otherwise you'll get glue everywhere. That's what happened to that demonstrator on stage. She had glue everywhere. You're going to butt that right up against that square or that triangle that you laid down. And you're going to let it hang over because we're going to cut it off. We're going to take another one of the long strips and we're going to glue it down.
Pretty in Pink was first released in 1997 to 2013.
Okay.
And then they've brought it back as an in color.
It's stuck there. I didn't get it lined up quite perfect, but it is stuck, and we're not going to tear it off. Now we're going to take the other long one. Yeah, so pretty in pink. Now the pecan or the peach pie, it is lighter than pale papaya, and it's lighter, I believe, than like crushed curry. Okay, so we're going to lay this one and butt it up right next to that triangle. So we got those. Now the little tiny piece, it's going to set right in. Well, it's supposed to set right inside there. This one I have to bring up because it is not near enough. It's not close enough to my square. Card surgery. I should have had my medical license. Oh, I do. From WebMD and Google. All right, so we're going to stretch that and put that right up there next to that. Okay. All right. This piece is supposed to fit right inside of there. Why is it not? Because it was supposed to be cut at 2 1/4 by 1 1/4. I bet I have it too long. Bring my trimmer in here. 2 1/4. Oh yes, I had it at 2 1/2. Silly me. Can't get my measurements straight today. It was all that sneezing I was doing earlier.
I'm glad that's calmed down.
Well, I don't know. I'm not so sure. So what'd you all do while I was away? I hope you made cards. I really wish that you would post them. I'd love to see what y'all have been working on.
I haven't really got to work on anything.
I know.
I love this negative.
This is the first day that Dorothy and I have been in the stamp room, and that's
doing something productive.
Doing something productive,
to figure out,
of course,
put something.
Because we needed to get cards done for tonight and cards for tomorrow. I am so excited about tomorrow's cards. I think you girls are going to really like them if you come to class. All right. So there we have our 4 fractured strips. Now all we're going to do is just cut those pieces off. And that's why you kind of want them longer, so that you've got that added bit, and then you can just trim it right off. Well, I hope you are, Cherie. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. I've got lots of goodies to give out from last month. I've got winners for Thursday nights. So you've got it. Well, you don't happen to have the refill for that old stamp pad, do you, Mary? Because I do know that you're not supposed to use the new inks on the old stamp pads. At least that's what I've been told. Okay. Now I got to sneeze, so excuse me.
Oh, she took her glasses off for this one.
I didn't want to sneeze them off. Okay, well, it hasn't come yet, but I'm working on it. Okay, of course. All right. Now, remember those pieces that we cut? We are going to start with one of these. And I'm going to lay it down and make sure that I have it so that it's overhanging the, doesn't look like that's very straight for some odd reason. And this was a brand new piece because it's not jiving up. So we're just going to do a little trim on it because it's not going to hurt what I'm going to do. Oh, yes, much better. Thank. All right, now we're going to adhere this down, and I'm just going to take and run my glue in this little section here. Then I'm going to push this up so that it marries up with my fracture, just like so. Oh, come on, these little flying gnats that have decided to come out of hibernation. Put a little more glue right here. Come on, gnat. Goodness. All right, now I'm going to take that long piece that has the multicolors in it, and I'm going to put it right here on this side. Make sure that you get it just right up as close to those fractured pieces as you can. Just like that. Now we're going to take the other large piece, and I kind of want my flowers going the same direction, which is kind of on an angle like this. So I'm going to put this piece right here.
Oh, did we tell them there's a brand new color coming in?
Oh, no. Besides the 5 brand new in colors, there's another color coming in, and it is called Basic Beige. So it's a beige color. We have an ink pad and we have paper. Excuse me, ladies, just a moment.
It's kind of like a Sahara sand.
Yeah, reminds me of Sahara sand.
Cake.
Because they are doing away with the thick, very vanilla cardstock. They're also going away with the vellum. So if you ladies like to do the vellum technique with the blends, I would definitely suggest you stock up on some vellum. Okay, now this piece here, it is a different size on each side. So you want to make sure that you put it in there going the right direction, which is like this and not like this, because then you're not going to marry up with your lines. Yes, Karen, this is a much easier way than when I first learned how to do it. And that's why I wanted to share this with you, because it is so much easier. And I think sometimes people don't make this card because they like, oh my gosh, that is so hard. But, you know, it's a wow card because people don't really know how you've done it. So now we're going to take and make sure that everything is stuck down. We're going to trim off one side of this, and then we're going to use our paper trimmer to trim the rest of the sides. So I'm just taking my scissors and I'm just cutting off the top section. And that's why you might say, well, you have a lot of waste. Well, you do, but I have some ideas on using some of this paper because it is absolutely too beautiful to just throw away a scrap that's a triangle. I'm going to bring in my trimmer. I'm going to lay my card down, whoops, with my flat edge, which is here. Silly me. And we are going to snip it. I'm going to do it upside down so I can see where the end of my card is. Here we go. Okay, I'm just setting it right there in the track. And if you cut off a little bit of the card base part of it, it's not a big deal. Okay. We'll pull those pieces out. Now we have another flat spot. We can take and put this side up in it and trim off those. One more side to cut. Okay, so having those score lines on there made it so much easier to put together this card. I'm just saying. Okay, then we are going to put this on our card base, like so. Because really, the fractured card, it's all in. I mean, I love the style of the fractured card, but I didn't do one since we did that one last year because it was so, I don't know. To me, it was more difficult than it needed to be. And so I appreciate that Connie Stewart figured it all out for me so that I could share it with you guys. Okay. All right. We are going to stamp the inside of our card with "You Make Life Better." And that is from our new stamp set, Thoughtful Wishes. So this is the stamp set, and it does have matching dies that you can cut out this and this and this. Yes, the Blackberry Bliss really does set off. Blackberry Bliss is one of the colors that coordinate with this paper, so it does set it off really good. So we're going to use "You Make Life Better," and that's going to be on the inside. And then on the outside, we're going to have "Thanks." And we are stamping that in the Blackberry Bliss. I would have used one of the new in colors had I had the stamp inks, but since I didn't, I thought I would just use the Blackberry Bliss. And I love the sentiments and the fonts in this set. Hope I don't get my head in the camera, but I gotta look down straight. All right, "You Make Life Better." There we go. And it's supposed to look a little off, ladies, because the "you" and the "better" are a little cattywampus. But that looks a little too much off for me. So we're going to try that again. What I'm going to do, what I've been doing, is looking at the "Make Life," because that's going straight across. And so I'm looking at the "Make Life" to make sure that that's straight across. And that is better. That is much better. Okay. Now, while we have this out, let's go ahead and stamp our "Thanks" for the front of our card. And I'm also taking the flowers, this little bunch of flowers here, and I'm going to stamp that in Memento Black. Okay, make sure that that's all stamped up nice and good. Remember, this is going to go on an angle, so you really want to look at it as a triangle. And I'm going to place my flowers right about here. So there's some of them that are off and some of them that are straight on. And then we're going to take our "Thanks," and we're going to stamp that in the Blackberry Bliss right above our flowers. There we go. So our stamping is done. All we have to do is put a little color on our flowers. And for that, I am using the new blends. And I'm using the Pretty in Pink as well as the Shy Shamrock. And I'm just using the light color of both of those. And I watched some demonstrators, and the way some of them colored, they said you don't have to get every single piece of the paper colored. And some of them just took and dotted inside. They just kind of pounced it up, not real hard because you don't want to ruin your nub, but you just kind of pounced it up and down real light, going in a circular type motion. And if you have a little bit of white showing, that's okay. So I was happy to hear that I could pounce it, and it didn't matter if I had a little bit of the white showing. Because sometimes if you've tried coloring with these, getting right to the edge sometimes, then it bleeds over, and I don't like that. So now here is my shy shamrock, and I'm just going to dot in. There's that little gnat again. I think he's after my chocolate. And I'm just going to fill in those leaves. So yes, if you've been with me since August, you know my saga. They have my partial in, but they can't get me in to get it fitted until the 3rd of April. Now, you would think after all this hassle that I've had to go through, they would have gotten me in sooner, but just finish out that. There's our flowers. Now, of course, Winkastella. Hi, Terry. I'm glad you made it. You'll have to finish watching it. I'm on the second card. You'll need to watch it from the beginning on the replay. All right. So now I'm just going to put some Winkastella on these flowers. Because as Dorothy says, you can never have too much wink. So we put Winkastella on here. I just to show how you can use the blends instead of the markers. You can definitely use the markers too. So it's whatever your preference is.
But you cannot use your blends
on your stamps
or your embossing.
That's right. Do not use your blends on embossing folders or stamps because it messes them up. Okay, so there is our Winkastella now on that. We are going to take and pop this up on our card, making sure that we have it opening the right way. We're going to use some dimensionals. And I'm going to use 5 of them, one in each corner and then one in the center. I love this new stamp set. And I know that when you guys see it in person, you are going to fall in love with it also. Okay, now we're going to place this down here in the center of our triangle. Get it as lined up and even as possible. There we go. Here is the new ribbon, and this is the petunia pop. Okay, now I didn't want to tie a bow. I just wanted to tie a knot. So the first time I tied a knot, I didn't leave myself enough ribbon. So we're going to, hopefully I did this time. So I'm just going to tie an overhand knot, kind of like a square knot, but just once over. And I'm only going to pull the left side to tighten it down. I'm only pulling the left side. So there is my knot. We're going to trim off our edges. And it does fray. I think just all ribbon frays. Just trim off our sides. And I'm going to take a glue dot or as I like to call them my snot dots. And I'm going to put 2 of them on the back of my knot, just for extra stickiness. And we're going to put that right down there in the corner of that triangle. Now we're going to take our inside. Remember I said we were going to use this little scrap? Well, this is how we're going to use it. First, we're going to attach this to our
Petunia pop.
Petunia pop. Okay. All right. See, I tell you, it's just going to make it hard for me to. All these names that have the same initial. I have a hard time with Noah and Nathan. I'm always calling one of them the other guy's name. All right. So we're going to put this down on our mat. Like so. And you wouldn't have to do this with your scrap paper, but I thought it just kind of added something to it at the bottom to decorate your card, because you already had it. And if it like I squared it off with my point, I just kind of trimmed off a little bit of it so that it would come to a point and not hang over on the edge down here at the bottom. And I already had a squared edge, so I just put that right up to the square on the corner and then laid it down. I wonder why it said 8. No, Terry, the lavender set is not retiring. Yay! The lavender paper is not retiring. I am so happy. Can you guess what other paper isn't going away? It's one of my favorites. I was so excited when I seen the catalog and it was still in there. It was like, oh my gosh. I've never remembered a time when Stampin' Up! Kept DSP paper. So we're going to set that in there like so. Okay. And there we have our fractured card made easy. Hi, Nanette. The blue DSP paper, you're right. The all blue, what is it? The countryside in? That's what's staying in. Yay. I'm going to give this a couple of flicks with my Winkostella just to give it a little bit of shimmer. The bundle is going away, but you can still get the lavender flowers and the dyes and the lavender paper. The bundle price is going away. So if you want it with the bundle price, you'll want to get it before the end of April. But yes, the bundle price is going away, but the stamps and dies are not. So there is card number 2. So here is card number 1 tonight, made with the In Color Designer Series paper and a new Designer Series paper. Okay, so if you ladies want to stay on a little bit longer, it is entirely up to you. If you want to grab your mini catalog and your annual catalog, I can go through each page and let you know what is retiring and what is staying. Or we can save that for another night, and I will schedule another live video to go through the catalog with you. Okay, number 2 is the favorite of Mary and Karen. I'm kind of partial. Number 2 is my favorite too, but it's a stepped up card. It's not the Dorothea's looking.
Casual.
It's not the casual card. Okay.
For the choreographed.
Or the choreographed. I would call it more of a choreographed card, because you didn't really use anything. Okay, Karen, that's fine. Number 2. Well, why don't I just schedule it? No, Anna, I can't tomorrow because I have a class at 1, and then I have a class tomorrow night at 6.
We have coffee and chat on Saturday.
Do I have coffee and chat on Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right, because we had to change it. Okay, well, we have coffee and chat on Saturday at 10 a.m. How about if we do it then, ladies? Instead of doing a, and I may have a real simple sketch for you to do, but we'll just go through the catalog Saturday morning during coffee and chat. Will that work for you? Okay, we'll just do it on Saturday, 10 o'clock, and we'll go through both catalogs, and I will let you know. I did send an email out. Anna, I think I don't know if I have your email address because you're not popping up in my contacts. Anna, send me your email by private message so that I can email you. I got the discontinuation list, and I enlarged the font on it so that it's easier for us older people. Bye, Anna. Good, Charlene. I'm glad you got the email with the discontinuation list that's bigger to read. I'm excited about the new catalog. It's very different, but it's going to be fun. Okay. All right, ladies. Well, I will see you. Hopefully, I will see some of you tomorrow at class. And then I will see you on Saturday at 10 a.m. So good night, everybody. Have a great weekend if I don't see you. See you next week.